What's up, guys? It's the 3AM Podcast. My name is Charlie.
My name's DJ.
My name is Sean.
We tell spooky stories. We tell funny stories. Let's go. Okay, what do we have on the agenda for tonight? Oh my gosh, guys.
I have something real quick.
Go for it.
I gotta pull this up. We're hyped to announce our partnership with Evergreen, the podcast network for the creative class. They have an extensive roster of shows ranging from true crime, pop culture, sports, the arts. So we're honored to be a part of a well-rounded and tenured community. So this partnership, ultimately, we hope it brings the right type of growth that leads us to finding better stories that keep everybody coming back to us. So shout out to Evergreen and Sound Talent Media, which you've been hearing at the beginning of every episode. So
that unscripted thing from DJ was him announcing we signed to a podcast network. It's Sound Talent and Evergreen.
damn, y'all do the work then.
I didn't say it wasn't good. I just said it wasn't scripted. That was natural as hell, brother. No, we signed to a podcast network, and it's gonna be really dope. We get to interact with a ton of other podcasters, work with them. They helped us get on a platform. They helped us get ads. So just know when an ad pops up that you're helping support us. So
That's so legit.
yeah. Also, we forgot to mention who's with us tonight.
Kevin.
Use your words.
Say, my name's Kevin.
I didn't know if you guys were going to say it. My name's Kevin.
Yeah, it's been a super long time. Kevin's with us. It's been almost a year. And the people have spoken, and they said, get your ass back on an episode. So Kevin answered the call, everyone.
I'm honored.
DJ, super thank you for doing that. I had to roast you. I'm so sorry. I love you so much. Am I dumb?
Well, it depends on the context.
Kevin, am I dumb?
No.
I think I'm pretty dumb.
Why? I don't think you are.
Last week, we talked about our claim to fame, and it was like a really long segment.
Yeah.
Do you remember who my claim to fame was? I'll help you. Because you know why it's that forgettable? Because that's how low of a celebrity I thought of. I once saw Bam Margera's uncle.
That's right.
In an airport, and I was like, "That's my claim to fame, dude."
What do you mean your claim to fame? Like the most famous person you've
The
met?
most famous person you've seen or interacted with. I have hung out with Logan and Jake Paul.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's right.
And I brought up Bam Margera's uncle. I completely forgot.
I was gonna say something actually. I was thinking what didn't you hang out with
I was at work today and I thought about that and I was like, what the hell is the matter with me? It's just hard to come up or pull things out right on the spot. But I've talked about it on pod before, but I think I kind of really breezed over the whole situation. Did I ever go into detail on pod?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, yeah.
Okay, so this is for our podcast listeners.
You're sharing this?
This is what I'm going to share.
Oh, man.
What happened in that meeting, what I witnessed and filmed, was one of the most surreal and weirdest experiences of my life. And because I'm terrified of the elite class and just being monitored by the NSA or something, I don't even know. I am afraid to talk about all the conversations that took place. Oof. I'm being dead ass.
Damn.
Oh, dang.
But one day I'm going to figure out how to tell what happened without telling what happened. If you catch my drift.
Bro, it's juicy.
It's unbelievable.
It's absolutely juicy.
All I can say is they were in town, they were in Utah, they were hanging out, they were meeting with people, and I was asked to film it to create a hype social media post.
Yeah.
So in the post I created, you can't hear any of the conversation. It's just them hanging out. But what they were talking about, I was sitting there with the camera in the corner, just do y'all want me to leave? Are my peasant ears allowed to hear this? It's just crazy.
A drink from?
Let's strike that from the record.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No. Is what I will say and what I will be on record.
The levels of this, I've said multiple times. I don't know if on pod, but definitely off pod. It feels like something that one day there's going to be a Hulu documentary about it, or a Netflix documentary, like Firefest kind of thing, you know?
Or WeWork.
Or Lula Rich.
Lula Rich, yeah.
Dude, I feel weird. I feel like we said too much. Let's move on.
That's Charles' claim to fame.
Certain things,
Yeah, but like I literally filmed. I was in the presence of like Jake and Logan Paul, and not even on some like, oh my, like whatever. But like they're pretty famous, and it was really weird to like just watch them. Both were really nice, really cool. Like Logan was super nice. When he walked in the building where my desk sits, I can see all the way to the front door. He walked in, we made eye contact, and he's like, and like waved and smiled at me, and I was like we were old pals, and I was like, dude, that's cool. That's cool. Anyway, enough of that. We want to talk about real claim to fame. I have a bone to pick with our homie Reed.
Oh, yeah.
Reed from
So
Thailand.
cool.
So I have two boyfriends. No, I have two people I look up to. I'm obsessed with. And
Charles's wife consistently refers to them as his boyfriends.
yeah, and judge me if you want. I don't care. I've been listening to Joe Rogan for over 10 years, and I've been watching Andrew Schulz for like 4+ years.
Yeah.
So Joe Rogan, podcaster. If you don't know him, you're lying. Andrew Schulz, one of the best, most prolific comedians, and has a really successful podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Our homie Reed, my cousin, who was on episode,
Thailand.
there you go, has seen both of them in real life. And so he doesn't
Very
have
recently too.
yeah. Andrew right now is on his honeymoon in Italy. Reed is there and ran into him. We don't know the whole story because Reed's still on vacation, but just randomly, I wake up to a photo of him chilling with Andrew Schulz. And I was like, what is
happening?
Yeah. Wow. That's not like the coolest thing, but to me, it blew my mind. Next segment. Guys, we've been streaming. So if you're just listening to this, if you're listening to the podcast episode, we stream every Monday at 7. That's the current schedule. So head over to Twitch. You can watch, you can hang out, interact with chat. We've had very specific goals to stream, but we also, DJ and I, really wanted to stream video games. Okay. That's very snide. No, I'm just kidding. No, it
doesn't feel good, huh?
Yeah. Huh? Dude, he's salty about me roasting him. I'm sorry, dog. It was just funny. I had to. Dude, that's like when you're standing in front of the class and you're reading slow and like someone says something, it shatters like your whole life. Or
cannot recover from this.
If you're ever trying to roast someone and you misspeak, bury yourself.
Because you just roasted
whatever
yourself.
you're about to say is not going to hit and it's over.
Did you ever
invalid.
Did you ever think? Did you ever dream?
Yeah, that's how someone like yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? We're streaming, guys. We're streaming, and DJ and I we were up till 4:30 a.m. setting up stream and figuring out how we can stream a video game. Right? DJ's streaming. He's streaming a video game. I'm working in the background, and DJ's like, I have to leave. Do you want to stream? So he asked me, and I wasn't planning on it. I wasn't planning on doing it. And then I was like, sure, I'll stream. And I thought I was going to be on there for like 30 to an hour. I sat down and played this video game for 8+ hours. And I didn't notice the time. It's very dangerous is what I'm coming to realize. I didn't notice the time moving at all. I was hanging out with homies in chat for 8 hours plus. It was fun. We were figuring this game out. And then I get up after 8 hours of sitting down. Little something about me. I hurt my back very bad when I was 16. And my back is super finicky. Sean will attest. I literally hurt my back like once a month to the point where I can barely walk. Right now, I have a heating pad behind me. And I learned super quickly how old I'm getting and how one day of stream and I'm done. Like my streaming career is over. I don't know if I can ever stream again.
First and last.
Yeah. So there it was. If you were there, you were there. And if you weren't, I'm sorry.
You missed out.
Yeah.
No, seriously. After that, had to get Charles a heating pad. Had to charge up the massage gun. got the rolling.
Yeah, you got the little like roller
to roll out all the
kinks
in the back. Yeah, dude. Just took care of Charles all weekend.
It was really nice. Just made me a ton of guacamole. I was like, bro, no more guacamole.
No mas.
Holy
really,
guacamole.
Really though, I don't know. We're gonna have to figure something out. But streaming has been really fun. We'd love for you guys to come hang out. So come hang out.
Yeah, we got to get that lumbar support going for you.
That's what I was saying he should do.
This is a perfect segment for Kevin to be here. We actually weren't planning on this, but how are some ways you guys have like realized you're getting older and we're no longer young. Kevin,
why is that perfect for me? I don't notice that I'm older. I notice that I'm fatter. So I'm serious.
Dude, my back too. When I went to New York last year, dude, walking all day everywhere around this huge city. Like day 4, I really started feeling it. Day 5, I was done. I was just like popping ibuprofen all day to like suppress the pain. And I was like, damn, what is going on right now?
It's like, what vigorous activity were you doing? You were walking?
Yeah. It's like, are you kidding me? You're back right now?
Bro, your bloodline's warriors, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I think the same. So in my mind, I think up until about a year ago, I was like 23 in my mind. I thought I was with fashion, movies, things like that. And I can't point to like one instance, but over the last like 6 months, I have just like fully come to terms with I'm old now. And the things I like, the things I liked in high school, they're like oldies. You know what I'm saying? And it's just been a wild thing to kind of realize. And like my desire to keep up with fashion, I don't really care. I'm going to wear what's comfortable and what like stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know, it's fun figuring out my life now as like not being the young hip thing. Do you know what I'm saying? I sound so old. I don't care.
Bro.
Keep going, dog.
I think what it is I have younger siblings who are in high school. And so the
they
things
ruined it for you?
The things they talk about. Okay, wait. How do I want to word this? Some of the things they talk about, I'm
blast,
just like, I have no idea. And I like, it's whatever. And I just like realized I'm way out of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I see you.
See, I think the reason why I don't feel any different, even though I'm older than everybody, is because I've always just been like
out of
stuck
touch
in the past. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Dude,
I've never like been up to date ever.
You know,
because
that
when I was growing up, I was super dirt poor, so we can afford cool things. Also. And then I was only exposed to like the music and stuff that my older siblings listened to, and they all listened to like the Doors and like Beatles and everything. So I grew up always like
almost in the past
old,
already.
Yeah. And so like now I'm just like,
I want to publicly and nationally and worldwide apologize to you. Kevin, I'm sorry. Because since I've met Kevin, one of the main things we have roasted him about is being a boomer. We've always been like, you're so old, like you don't know. Like we've been like, bro, you wear cargos.
Yeah, that's the second biggest part of his identity. First being the green beanie.
Yeah.
Second is the cargo shorts.
So we've roasted Kevin for his musical taste and his clothes for like 10 years. But your boy was playing the long game because everything Kevin likes is now
in style
dope.
Right now.
Everyone's wearing cargo pants.
The chat is flaming New Balances right now.
You never wore New Balances, so
yeah, I wear flip flops or.
But you know the song in Stranger Things that is like
Running
super
Up That
pop
Hill?
and trending right now?
That Hill by Kate Bush.
Kate Bush, yeah.
Kevin's been
That's
on
my
Kate
girl.
Bush for like since
I
he's
heard
14,
that song
dog.
on a road trip with Kevin one time, and I was like,
And you're probably like, change the station.
"Could we like?
old
Could I,
man.
could I like maybe have the aux cord, please?" And now everyone's on it.
Yeah,
Kevin was cool before it was cool.
really.
The real trendsetter. Kevin, prophesy. Tell us what's
going to be
what's
cool?
next. What's up and coming that we don't know about? Teach us.
Or what's
Help
from
us
the
get on
past.
the wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dig into your well of knowledge and experience and all things cool, and give us a little drink.
Hot Cheetos and cheese. Those are going to come back with a vengeance.
Ooh,
Bro,
dude,
they
do you see how
always been
quick he
with
whipped that
cheese.
out?
Yeah, dude.
Hot Cheetos
That's
and
just because
cheese.
I bought my fat a box of 50-pack hot Cheetos and some nacho cheese. So, you know.
Nice. I approve.
Damn,
Sean
that
approved.
will be a trend by the end of the month on TikTok. Mark our words.
Somebody said Kate Bush came out for Pride.
Did she?
Wait, really?
Came out what?
The closet. I don't know what they meant by that, but just want to
Kate Bush is
segue into Pride Month.
Heyo.
Shout out my gays.
Dude, that's my shtick. No, I'm just kidding. I have like family members who are gay. I have friends who are gay, and I tell them I say that, like all of them just shake their head at me. But I'm like, no, I like it, and the gays roll with me, bro. And they're like, you can't be saying that.
Do
I
you
don't care.
do you roll with the gays?
I do. I roll deep with the gays,
Oh yeah, how deep?
dude. As deep as we want to go.
Okay.
Oh,
We wanted to as try a segment, and this might get cut, and it might get us canceled. DJ, you want to introduce it?
I don't know. You had this better planned out.
Dude, I have no plan. We're going in.
Oh, okay. How do you know you're not gay?
So DJ and me were working at the desk today, and I was like, bro, like, how do you know you're not gay?
I revisit this question maybe like 2 or 3 times a year and just reevaluate. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it could be fluid with the shits. Or maybe I'm comfortable, as a cis het male,
Yeah. Bro, I don't know where this is going.
How much have you thought about it? How much have you or not even just thought, how much have you experimented?
That's what I was saying. And this is kind of an old bit. It's an old shtick. I think multiple comedians have said this or whatever, but like, you don't know until you know. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can any straight dude like say he's straight unless you never tried any gay shit? You know what I'm saying?
that's true. That's true.
That was my whole thing. So I was trying
After
to
I
push.
sucked my
That was
homie's
your
dick,
saying.
I was like, nah, this ain't for me.
Yeah. Is that not sound logic?
That is sound logic.
So like,
That kind of makes sense.
do we have people out here
That
like
do make
claiming
sense.
straight and they haven't even like, they don't
never,
even
like-
know. They never done the science.
Yeah.
They never done the
It's like
evidence.
being a picky eater,
It's like, how do you know unless you eat the damn thing you don't like? Like
Yeah.
me, I've eaten flan, so I know I don't like flan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Facts.
Now
dude.
I need to eat that boy flan. If I want to know, you know what I'm saying? So I no longer can claim straight until I know is what I'm saying. And all like y'all
That
fake
boy
claiming out there need to cut that.
It's so gross.
Judging books by the cover out here, everybody.
Read the book, maybe, huh?
That's
As long as
true,
everyone's
dude.
like consenting, read the book.
Somebody in
it's
chat said
consensual reading.
homosexual.
Oh, dude, that's me.
Start with that.
So go on.
How many of us have we?
Homosexual?
How many? I feel like everybody in the group has kissed somebody in the group.
I've kissed a boy. I've kissed a homie.
Maybe not Sean.
No one ever kisses me, dude.
Do we need to change that
We can change that right now.
in honor of Pride Month? It's like when Michael wants to prove he's not homophobic in the office, so he like makes Oscar kiss him. That's exactly what would happen right now if we did that. Guys, that wasn't the best planned out bit, but it was just on my mind a lot.
Okay, wait. How do you know you're not? You could apply that to a lot of things. Like, how do you know you're not a furry?
Oh shit, dude.
You know, like you never wanted to get all goofy
Never
on
wanted this
Roxanne
gif out
when you're
here?
watching Roxanne
Yeah, dude.
on Goofy movie.
Oh, bro.
Damn. Okay. Or
You didn't
Lola
want to
Bunny, dude.
goof all over that. What about Lola Bunny, Lola Rabbit?
Okay, so does that logic apply to like other things?
Sure.
You weren't
dude.
trying to jam on that?
Are you guys into feet?
Feet?
Yeah.
I mean,
You have a
not
feet
like,
fetish?
super attracted to feet.
How do you know? Have you tested it?
Just
Well, I mean, you can look at feet and know you're not attracted to it.
But it goes deeper.
When,
than
when
that.
you say tested it, what do you mean?
I'm about to get
Moist
a bit more.
moccasin.
I'm about to get a bit Mormon right now. But like in the Mormon church, and I bet in a lot of Christianity, it's like you don't know if it's true unless you act on it. Right? So if you believe in the Mormon church, you believe in the principles of the gospels, it's like you got to think about it, you got to pray about it, you got to live it.
So
it's
most Mormons out here practicing faith without works with their sexuality.
Oh, shoot, dude.
Boy.
and your sexuality without damn, that was rough.
Dude, Bible
your sexuality with bro, I got lost in that sentence. That sentence was bisexual right there. What was I going to say? Sexuality without works is dead.
Yeah, you
Bible
right.
bars,
Damn,
This
dude.
is gospel right here.
Bible bars. How do you know? How do you know you're not an incel? You know.
I don't know.
What's an incel?
How do you know?
again?
How do you know?
Educate our fool.
Involuntary celibate.
Right,
Like,
but
you just
like,
don't.
what do you mean? Okay,
No.
then that doesn't make sense to me. How you don't know that you're?
You have to. No one can touch you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think half of us are.
Because
Say-
probably-
say no- say no
celibate,
to the
doesn't that
hoe.
mean like you want to be having sex, but nobody will have sex with you?
Okay.
Well,
okay.
then that's how you know.
Yeah, that's true, technically.
Yeah, that's a bad one. Next,
So you're an.
That's why I was like, do I not understand? Because I thought, okay, sorry.
How do you know you're not into like hentai?
Without watching it.
Because
Yeah.
anime is weird.
but have you ever tried it? Have you ever
Bro.
watched it?
Have you ever tried?
I have seen some anime.
Ooh.
I've not seen hentai.
Well,
Hey, that's just one ethnicity
nowadays,
of
anime is
animation.
almost
What about
hentai.
American American animation. There wasn't ever a cartoon character growing up, and you were like, I'm about it.
Oh,
Like Daphne from Scooby.
You don't want to shag on that?
You don't want that Scooby snack? You know what I mean?
Solve that
mystery. You don't want to unmask that villain? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I always thought the waifu pillow. You know the waifu pillow?
oh yeah.
No? You never seen a waifu pillow?
This is what I'm saying. Kevin doesn't know shit.
It's a body. Okay, Kevin. Yeah.
Okay,
let me teach
first
you.
off-
Wait, let me teach you. There's a body. There's
not
like
gonna
the
Google
long
that.
body pillows.
Yeah.
They'll have like anime girls and like cartoon characters on the pillow. It's just like you sleep with
Okay.
it. It's a body pillow.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You never wanted one?
No.
How do you know?
How do you know? You never
Because he
got
would
one.
be too hot while he was sleeping, dude.
No.
Okay, here's the thing.
You never.
I wasn't exposed to most things as a kid because we were super poor. We didn't have TV.
Damn, you didn't even get all sad.
No. We had beans at least, so we didn't have to go make lemongrass soup.
True.
Also,
true.
You're
lemongrass,
rich compared to him.
yeah, lemongrass
true.
ain't growing in El Paso, so.
You're lucky.
But yeah. Also, we had. I don't know how to.
What are you
I
trying
had
to say?
parents
User words.
that
Be careful.
enjoyed
The recreational.
tormenting some children.
Oh,
So
Damn.
things that could be kept away
we're kept away.
were kept away. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I don't have a lot of exposure. Like I didn't grow up watching. I didn't watch like any like Disney cartoons or anything until I was like in high school and I lived with friends.
Gotcha.
And then you were like, oh yeah.
No, and then I was watching like Family Guy and South Park. So it was just like.
Then you were like, ah yeah.
Got him. Oh my God, you killed Kevin. Dude, anyway, my point
Weren't
is
you-
like,
didn't you
don't
have-
know till you know.
Didn't chat while you were playing video games send you like a waifu chair, waifu body pillow chair?
At like hour 6 or 7 of me streaming, I was like, damn,
My
I think
back hurts.
back
My
kinda
back hurts.
And Brittany sent me a link to like a Hello Kitty gaming chair.
Oh, is it like she's like hugging you? You know,
Yeah.
like reaching around.
She's saying Hello Kitty.
Oh, reach around for a little.
And chat was trying to convince me to just buy it on the spot. And I was like, I mean, 3 a.m. has a little bit of money in the bank right now. I don't need to ask the boys. I might as well just pull the trigger by this. And they were like, do it. No, but anyway, my whole point of that section, all love. We love everyone. Do whatever you want. Macklemore, whatever. But like,
Wait, is Macklemore gay?
no, but like he has that song. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
gotcha.
Yeah.
yeah, he might be. Because he liked to draw or something. So like, anyway, that's an old joke.
And
Anyway,
his uncle was.
what was I saying? Oh, how do you know unless you try it? You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I think we just need to stop being closed-minded is all we're saying. So
You'd
like,
be more experimental.
if you think you're away, you better like test that shit out.
Yeah.
So like, hit us up. I'm just kidding.
Dude, it's gospel and it's science because science, the
Hypothesize.
Yes,
My brother in
exactly.
Gospel is science.
Who is one and the same, doctor?
Anyway, let's get out of this landmine and move to something more safe to talk about. Y'all heard about Lake Mead? What's going on?
Yeah, dude.
We talked about that already.
About it.
I know, but I don't know if we talked about it fully on pod. Okay, recap what we know because I have an update.
They found some bodies.
In
So, dude,
barrels.
Body pillows.
Yeah.
Waifus. We're off that. No. Lake Mead
I'm
is
on it.
the lake right by Las Vegas. It is like the main estuary. I'm pretending to know what that word is. It's the main source of water for Las Vegas people, and it is sinking. It is going down a lot
Yep.
to the point where it's going to be an issue coming up. But a side effect of it as it's going down is it's revealing some secrets. Bodies in barrels being found. And it's crazy because Las Vegas is like notoriously ran by the mob. So you could imagine where these bodies are coming from. People not being able to pay gambling debts, whatever.
Mhm.
But something else that Lake Mead is revealing. Have y'all ever heard of St. Thomas? Not the island Epstein was on.
Oh, shit, dude.
No.
Like the
Saint-
actual saint.
St. Thomas is a town that used to be where Lake Mead currently is.
Oh, damn.
So a town was there. Small town, and it was really a long time ago. And the United States government bought the town. Everyone had to move out, and they created Lake Mead. The level is getting so low that people are starting to see remnants of St. Thomas. So I think I have
Like the buildings and stuff?
That's what I don't know.
That's so
I saw
cool.
that
It's
and
a
I wanted
Notion?
to talk about it on pod. Yes, it is a Notion under opening segments. Do you want to read the title of that?
Yeah. Today I learned that before the Hoover Dam was built, there was a town where Lake Mead now is called St. Thomas. The entire town was purchased by the federal government and abandoned. However, the water level of the lake has fallen so much that parts of the town can be seen and explored.
Okay, maybe click that link off screen and see what comes up.
Yep.
Okay, it seems safe. Show it.
It comes from nps.gov, so we're chilling. St. Thomas, Nevada. Dude, immediately, and are you going to get into this? But
No,
immediately,
I'm not. I don't know anything more.
I'm thinking about they're covering something up.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, they're uncovering something.
Oh,
What are your thoughts?
I have nothing further than that. but-
Okay. Is there any more pictures on there?
History of St. Thomas. Dude, it's founded by the Mormons. That's not surprising because Mormons also helped found Las Vegas too.
Oh, crazy.
In 1865, they weren't the first inhabitants of the region. It was the Puebloan basket makers.
I had no idea. That's crazy. First of all, like, who decides to live in the desert?
I know, dude. Brigham Young, the president of the church, led the people across the plains and then arrived in Salt Lake, and he said his famous words, "This is the place." You know how pissed I would have been if I was in that group? I was like, no, we got to keep going. California is like a state away. Beautiful Bay
They could've been
Area.
in Oregon,
Gold.
bro.
Oh, come on. The Northwest, Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
Any of those, not this high-ass desert.
I would agree, bro. If
I
you
think
just-
Utah's beautiful.
Utah is undeniably beautiful, but like living in the desert, I don't comprehend. So like when I see like Pueblo Indians or like people like living in Southern California or like Arizona, I'm talking about like Native Americans too. It's like, why did y'all not keep walking or like go anywhere else?
Yeah, exactly. And then they get here and then they have to deal with like the inversion, the pollution. And I'm like,
So dumb.
go to the coast, bro.
Yeah, we say that, but your ass and my ass are living in Utah. So it's like,
We came from Hawaii and
Yeah.
California,
so we're
Washington, and well, you don't really count, but
judging. Anyway, someone said that the Lake Mead thing is a Scooby-Doo plot, which like, bro, it
for
kind of
sure.
sounds like
I'm
we're
telling
about to
you, they
unmask some
covered
villains.
something
There's
up.
definitely pyramids down there. They covered them up, dude.
Dude, St. Thomas is Atlantis.
No,
Bro.
The
Atlantis
Dead
is,
Sea Scrolls.
Oh, that's true. That's out in the Sahara.
that's where it is.
What's the famous Death Valley? Death Sea Scrolls. They just went. It's right there, Death Valley, Nevada. Dead Sea Scrolls, Atlantis, and St. Thomas.
DJ's grabbing every dot and just connecting them, no matter what.
It's all related, dog. It's all related.
Bro, you might be right.
It was the build of the Hoover Dam approved by President Calvin Coolidge in 1928, and as the waters rose, areas that had been high and dry along the muddy and virgin rivers would be inundated by the lake, including St. Thomas. So the residents just had to relocate.
They're like, go instead of living in this desert, live in that desert. So it's like all the same. They're like, all right, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I heard the same things happening with Lake Powell,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
they're like finding like sunken houseboats and
Yep.
stuff.
Oh, that's wild. Bro,
Just
I
sticking
bet,
out.
dude, we need to take your metal detector and head down.
So here's the thing too, though, is they're planning on like trying to raise the level of Lake Powell by dumping water from Flaming Gorge, like excess, and by withholding Lake Powell water from going down to Lake Mead.
Bro, this
So
is
they're
not
trying
getting
to
better.
cover something up in Lake Powell. That's the only one they're actually focusing on. Sus a little bit because all you got is houseboats on Lake Powell versus the water for an entire city in Las Vegas.
Lake Powell might be the most surreal place I've been. And when you're there, you're completely disconnected from your phone.
Oh yeah,
There's no like electrical wires. There's no Wi-Fi really.
no reception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the landscape is truly otherworldly. Like it feels like you're just cruising around on
I
Mars.
feel, like I'm a space pirate, dude.
And then you have this idea or this thought like, this is all man-made.
Yeah.
Like none of this is really real. It was created by man.
They chiseled the rock and everything. It's insane.
Exactly.
They're probably focusing on Lake Powell because it probably brings in more money than all of wherever Lake Mead feeds water to.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It all gets sent to California anyways, like Colorado River. And the fact that they're only trying to keep Lake Powell where it's at versus like...
What are you saying without saying it?
I'm just saying that the Anunnaki are supposed to be coming back.
Kevin, a very hot conspiracy theory right now that is just popping on talk. It's what we call TikTok.
Oh, gotcha.
No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't know that. So.
There are more and more videos coming out, and bro, this one is on par with Flat Earth.
That's true.
There are Egyptian ruins and artifacts in Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I brought that
This has
up like
been-
years ago on the
You
podcast.
did, dude. I remember that.
I was gonna
Pyramids
say,
in
this
the
has
Grand
been
Canyon.
a thing for so long because my siblings all believe in this, and they have for years and years and years and years, and they've told me the story of like what it is all the time. Like Curtis, he went to Egypt specifically.
He did research. So see, that's what I'm saying. How do you know unless you test it?
So
Curtis
they
be
went-
testing it. He went
That's
to
true.
He went to
That's
Egypt.
true.
Bro.
They went because so what they believe is that Egypt has a bunch of portals, and that's what the pyramids are. So like the pyramids are shaped in sacred geometry.
Yep.
Keep going.
Like so like
So there's portals.
the perimeter of the
Pyramid.
pyramid equals like something to the earth or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
And so they're built in a way, and also the structure of it is the type of structure that can magnify energy. And so it creates portals to where they can travel between worlds to different
Points on the
areas on
Yeah.
the earth and stuff like that. And how they've been finding Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon and stuff like that because they used these portals that were put there by the Anunnaki who populated the earth according to them. And apparently in Utah, out in the desert, there's a giant slab that gives like a history of the Anunnaki in Utah.
No.
Cause
So
What?
I was
We were joking up until this point.
I started the sentence with saying this is ridiculous. I'm fully invested.
I was chilling at the hot springs. And-
Nude.
Well, as
Like
you
the
do.
Saratoga Hot Springs.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was in
Okay,
Saratoga
okay.
Hot Springs, and this older lady comes up and she's gets in chilling. We just start talking. I was like, "What's your name?" She's like, "I'm Bambi," and I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you, Bambi."
Okay. I'm
I'm
about
Thumper.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Continue with your
I'm
thing. I have
Twitter
something
pated.
weird that I found.
What?
what?
I said continue with your thing.
You already interrupted. What is it?
Okay. I just searched Anunnaki slab Utah, and there's literally nothing that comes up on the search.
Dude,
it
bro,
won't
show
give me
them.
anything.
Share the
Damn,
screen.
that's wild, bro.
Guys,
the
we-
government is hiding things. Dude, this is the first time I've ever seen this.
Okay, switch back.
On Google, bro.
There's literally not even an ad for like Anunnaki slab pizza or something. Like anything. There's literally nothing. There's no result.
That's crazy because that plays in with her story that she told me.
Shit. Okay, so you're
is live.
So-
sitting naked with this lady,
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
So
Bambi.
Bambi and I are chilling in these hot springs.
Bambi.
And
Have y'all ever felt something for Bambi growing
Twitter
up?
patient, dog.
Okay, keep going.
So she starts telling me how she moved to Utah. She was like, I was Mormon. I was part of the cult. But then one day I had a dream and it like told me to go out into the desert and like cleanse myself of this cult. And she like did some ritual thing. And I was like, oh, cool. Then she was telling me, she's all, and you know the real origins of the earth, right? And I was like, I mean, I know what I believe they are.
What a casual question.
Yeah. So she goes
Y'all
on.
seen the origin of the universe, right?
You're aware? No?
Loser, bro.
So she starts to tell me how like this elite alien race came to Earth.
Yep.
And they settled it, and there was this like indigenous like wolf creature that dominated. And so they killed most of them off, but then it was like
the wolves.
two.
They killed the wolves.
Yeah, they
Okay.
killed the wolf people off. And there were two like sibling leaders or whatever. I'm butchering this.
Just
But
run through what you have.
One was I can't remember the names, but one was like very like, this is justice, this is the plan, this is what we do, da 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 da. We have to populate, like we have to prepare this earth for our purposes. The other one was more merciful and like saw that like the wolf people like were capable of like decision making and like love or whatever. And so they took their DNA and implanted them with their DNA and like created this mixed people, which became us. And so
Dude, we are furries.
We're part Anunnaki and part like this wolf species.
Okay, we're tracking with you.
And so then like the brother found out and tried to like kill us all off, and so sent a flood, like flooded the earth with technology. She basically went through and told me all these like main Bible stories where like the Anunnaki. So then she's like, my dream told me that I had to go out into the desert and cleanse myself, blah, blah. And she was like, so I was researching like why I needed to go out into the desert. Like after she did this ritual in her dream, then she found out that there was like, she had heard somebody say that they had stumbled upon this like giant slab. It was like 12 feet tall with all just like hieroglyphics and writing and stuff on it. And she's like, I need to find that. Like she just felt like it calling to her. So she asked them where it was. She did whatever research she could. She went out into the desert and was looking. And she went back to her camp and it had been ransacked. And so she was like, what the heck? There's nothing even out here. And then she said, like the next day when she went back out and she came back, she saw like a government vehicle leaving her campsite and it was ransacked again. Like they were like looking through all her stuff to see if she had found any artifacts or whatever. So then she got up the next day and she's like, okay, this is the last day that I have that I can go out hiking and looking for this slab. And she's like, and it's nowhere that like I've been able to see. And she's like, so I was about to leave for a hike and then this van pulls up and she's like, oh crap, I think it's the government again. So this dude gets out and she's like, is this really tall man? And he knew my name and he started talking to me. He's like, I know what you're looking for. Follow me.
Okay, wait. Do you follow?
Yes.
You do? Okay, Kevin follows.
Hell yeah, red pill.
DJ's in.
YOLO.
Damn, okay, me too. If my homies jump, I jump. You know what I mean?
So
I love you.
She takes him, or he takes her down this trail that she had already hiked. But then there was this like little turnoff that she hadn't noticed before. And so she turned off on there with him and was like weaving between like rocks and little slot canyons and stuff like that. And she's like, we went for forever. And then all of a sudden it just opened up and there was this huge slab of rock that had just had all these like ancient writing pictures, all the stuff on it. And she was like, he turned to me and said like, this is what you're looking for. This is where I'll leave you. And then he left and she was like, I knew that if I just stared at it long enough, I'd be able to understand what it said. And she's like, so I sat there and I stared at it and I just told myself, you understand this. You understand this. You understand this the whole time. So I sat there all day and just studied it. She's all, by the time I left, I could read it. And she's like, and what it told me was a history of the Anunnaki and like how like the like Bible stories are perversions of what actually happened and like how they twisted it to fit into Christianity and all this stuff. So then she went back and her camp wasn't ransacked that time. She made sure she didn't bring any artifacts back. But she's like, the government is trying to cover this up.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Then she went to a hot spring and told you.
Yeah. Okay, people open up to me very easily.
How do you just casually have this
Oh, yeah, they
conversation
do.
in hot
Yeah.
springs?
Yeah.
And what do you say afterward? Oh,
I said, oh, dang, that's crazy.
you come here often?
No.
How about the weather?
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's us after stories.
Wow. That's wild.
She was like, I know that it sounds hard to believe, but it's true. And I was
Sean
like,
hated that
awesome.
story so much. I was watching him the whole time.
I just have a lot of questions. And,
You know, and I probably butchered it also.
well, I mean, I would probably have a lot of questions for
Yeah.
her as well if she was telling me the story.
Skeptical Sean's in chat, everyone.
Skeptical Sean's in
You,
chat.
you chose to follow the dude, though.
I did, but I wouldn't have been any different off if I hadn't. Like, I
Real
wouldn't have
quick.
known any differently.
DJ, when you Googled it, you got no results.
Mhm.
Multiple people in our chat saying they're getting results. So something's going on
Oh, shoot.
with
Because we
our
live right by the
internet.
NSA building.
We triggered the movement. Oh, let it be known 3 a.m. is the instigator of the Anunnaki slab in Utah.
Really quick, I have something with this.
Okay.
I think a couple weeks ago, Mysterious Universe, which is an amazing podcast. If you haven't listened, you should go listen. Cover everything paranormal, supernatural, and they do really good research. They had an author on, and this author is pretty renowned in, I think, psychology or something. I can't remember his background, but he was going through life, and he got pretty old. I think he's like in his 50s, and he has a dream. And he has a dream of a mound of earth in the desert. And the ground is clay and it's red. And he has this dream over and over and over and over, to the point where like it's consuming his thoughts. He talks to his wife about it. Somehow he discovers that it is a mound in southern Utah of an ancient indigenous people. So tantamount to like a pyramid. So some old Native American or indigenous people of Utah built this mound. He finds out where it is and he goes there. When he goes there, he has more dreams where he receives more revelation, and he has like a long story where he like tries to ignore it, and it's like, no, you cannot, you have to do this. And he feels like he's communing with like ancient peoples. And then he dedicates his life to documenting all the mounds, the indigenous people's mounds like in America. And he's created the most extensive book on that, and he like updates it regularly. So like he's the godfather, like the source of knowledge on mounds in the US. And one of them that started this whole thing is somewhere in Southern California, or Southern Utah rather. And I'm wondering if they're connected. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
there's
crazy.
a reason Utah.
He said when he walks around, he also dove deep into like ley lines and vortexes and why some areas of the earth seem to have more energy, like Sedona, Arizona. Egypt is one of them. He kind of touched on that, and he said when he went to the mound, he's like, yeah, something was different there. Like he felt something different. So who knows? Diving, that's like pretty credible. And there are definitely mounds all over the US.
Yes.
That's credible. Diving back into the weirdness, people think that there are stargates in like Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah.
People think
yeah.
there's portals and stuff, and like that's really why we're fighting wars and stuff like that. There are pyramids in China.
Mm-hmm.
Huge pyramids that they won't let anyone investigate.
Yep.
So like there's huge pyramids in China from a really long time ago, and they won't let anyone like check them out. Stuff like that. I don't know. There's something coming on. Maybe
It's a
Curtis
little
was right.
sus.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, maybe.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Cool. Guys, I say we switch into stories. And with that, to determine in what order we tell our stories first, we roll a 20-sided die. Highest number goes first. And now we have the added amazing
Pleasure.
pleasure of
If you roll a 1, you have to take a bite of the ghost pepper right before your story.
I feel like that punishes us, though.
I do too.
Charles with a 17. I rolled a 13.
I got a 3.
So the order tonight is Charlie, Sean, DJ. I forgot your name. Okay, for my story tonight, we're going to go to a very interesting place in the U.S. One that I regard as potentially the scariest place to me. And here's a little clue. Today, we are going to Kentucky.
Ugh.
That's a really rude sound.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Kevin. Jeez.
Sorry, chill on that. No, I'm just kidding.
I got family out that way.
Bro, Sean, you've lived in Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
The South is super interesting, and I'm learning a lot about it. Like, I think I had one idea in my mind, and it's just like expanding a lot. So DJ and I were working today. We're designing. We're both graphic designers for a company, and we work alongside a lady who's like really a boss in her field, and she's aware that we have this silly little podcast, but like she's old. She doesn't really get it. And I've been kind of trying to poke and prod and get more stories out of her because she's had a very rich and full life, pretty crazy experiences. So I've been slowly working my way in, getting to learn more and more from her and about her, and trying to provoke, because I know she has some terrifying experiences. And if you're new to the podcast, if you haven't listened to old episodes, all of us are Mormon or members of the Latter-day Saint Church, whatever. We've all served missions. This lady is also a Mormon, and she has served a mission. And she served her mission back in the 80s. She served her mission in Kentucky.
Oh, shoot.
Back when the mission covered like 5 states at once.
I was going to say, when she served, it was like all the South.
Oh,
so what do you
damn.
got around there?
You got Kentucky just south. The entire length of Kentucky is also Tennessee. Up above, you got Illinois, Indiana, Ohio,
What do you got to
and
the
West
east?
Virginia. To the east, you got Virginia.
The Virginias? Or just
Virginia's and North Carolina is just southeast of there as
So
well.
this is like the South.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. She said for her crazy experience, she came living in like Southern California, bougie nice. Like the way she talks
Orange
about her
County.
County, the
Yeah.
way she talks, like she would get out of school and all her homies would like longboard to the beach and like eat delicious food and surf. And I'm like, damn.
Okay.
So that's what she went from to the heart of Kentucky. And I'm talking Eastern Kentucky.
Eastern
Straight,
Kentucky.
yeah, straight from
shit.
California
Okay.
to a double wide.
That's exactly how
I lived in a double wide in Kentucky, so let's not hate on double wides.
Yeah, so she's visiting the Gasaway household.
So you remember her? Or you remember
no,
her
actually,
sister?
she knocked on her door.
So-and-so?
The way she described it, like it was just opening my mind to a culture that I had no idea about. And it's crazy. Before we started recording, Sean put on a video to like show and depict a little bit of Southern culture
In a humorous way.
in a humorous way. Well, for her, she was describing it. And one thing she brought up, and I haven't been able to not stop thinking about it, but she said when they were walking around proselyting, trying to contact people, they would come on the roads, they would come to hollers.
Yeah.
So what's a holler?
So it's basically like the entrance to like a little valley.
Okay.
Why is it called a holler though? Why can't you just call it valley?
I don't know. People use different terms for different things. Do I even know like popular
damn,
like
language.
They ain't
country?
that educated.
So let me get into it. Holler is the regional dialect pronunciation of hollow,
Hollow. Okay.
referring to the broad natural hollow of one a creek has carved, i.e. a small valley. Colloquially, this has led to the somewhat tongue-in-cheek definition that is holler is called such because of the need to holler to communicate to the nearest neighbor. In the hills of Kentucky, most of the fertile, tillable property is adjacent to the creeks that run down the holler.
Isn't that how Australians say hollow too?
Holler.
Just disregard.
Okay. I was trying to like actually like hear it in an
Pronounce
Australian.
it in your head.
Holler.
Yeah, holler. It's a holler. Anyway.
I ain't no holler back kid.
Oh my. When the people settled the region, they pulled their wagons into the holler along the creek and built a cabin high enough on the hillside not to be flooded during seasonal high rainfall events. The roads were dirt and the dry creek bed during the periods of low water. Sorry. The saying, this is dope. The saying, we will be here come hell or high water, is related to the road being a part of the crossing the creek in the hollow. So like that's where that term starts.
Interesting.
So she said walking around Kentucky, what would happen is you would come to the narrow opening of a valley. And up in that holler, so there's like trees. I think I even have a photo if you want to throw it up. There's like Kentucky, insanely pretty.
Oh yeah.
Like
Very green.
dense forest,
Very
trees
green.
everywhere, rock, cliffs, hills, rivers, things like that. And so you'd come to the narrow opening of these valleys, and there are people back up in that holler who've been there for hundreds of years, and their families have like super deep roots up in that holler, and they control what happens up in that holler. So you can't get in there. Like a lot of them had roads you couldn't bring cars in. So they would walk up, and she said several times or multiple times she would come up into the holler, and as they're walking up the path into the holler, they would hear from the trees, click, click, the sound of a shotgun being cocked. And just someone they couldn't see would be like, that's enough, you need to turn around. And it's like the idea of it is so crazy to me. They have their own, like, she was trying to explain it. They have their own culture. They have their own traditions. And it's all outside of like traditional US, like idea of white picket fence, go to college, be in business. Like there are people that are born in the holler that don't have birth certificates. Do you know what I'm saying? She said a lot of the hollers were ran by family units, and Ma and Pa were like God. Like they run shit. And it's like generational families, aunts, uncles, multiple units, and they all like stick together in the holler. So like, here's a picture kind of what depicts of like a holler, if you want to pull those up. So these are the type, like they would build their things up there. You can go to the other one. They would build their houses and homes up there. Anyway, it's really hard to comprehend or grasp like how separate from society some of these cultures or families are. There's a couple depictions in pop culture or media. One of them being the Snells.
The Snells
from the Ozark.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember them?
Yeah.
And their character? So if you've never seen Ozark, there's a character and it's a family, and they're known as the Snells. And they're like, they run by a different code, and it's like, this is our land and you come by our rules. And like in the show, the cops or the local authorities try to come to them and be like, you can't just like kill people. And they're like, no. Like, this is our land. We have bones in the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very crazy, very interesting to me. And the way our coworker was describing it, she was just like, it is a different world. You like can't comprehend unless you see it yourself. I also have a video. It's at the very bottom of my notes, DJ. And it's called Outsiders Trailer. I don't know how much of this we can keep in the audio version of the podcast, but for those at home, let's watch this right now. I think this does it. She sent me this trailer and she said, this is pretty accurate to what it felt like.
You said Outsiders?
Yeah, it's down in my notes.
I got it.
Okay.
For 200 years, we've lived above you. Free to live in a way you are not.
I think this is done by the same people as Sons of
And
Anarchy.
you do not know us.
Dude, that looked kind of good though.
I know. I was
It
like,
does kinda look dope.
I might start this. So
Wait, is that a series?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
I think written, or there's like some connection to Sons of Anarchy. But obviously that's a little dramatized and a little like Hollywooded. But from what she was saying, she was like, I'm telling you, that's like what it felt like being there. And just like how separate their culture and their society is crazy. Now, someone was asking, do you think that's still the case today? I don't know. Sean, you've been there the most recent. Like, have you ever had interaction with like literal hill people? Do you know what I'm saying?
Personally, no, because all of my family lives in Western Kentucky.
So this is mainly Eastern.
This is going to be like up in the Appalachian Mountains, and we're down by like Mississippi River.
Mm-hmm.
More Land O'Lakes area, less mountains.
So I don't know if that's still the case now. I want to dive in because this is so intriguing to me. Just like this there's like a whole world and ecosystem that's happening. We have no idea. Do you know what I'm saying? And a whole like tradition, folklore, and way of life.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's still the case. Very interesting. What I am going to dive into today is a couple of folklores in and around Kentucky.
Cool.
They're going to be brief. We're not going deep. This is an old fashioned. Here's some urban legends.
Let's go.
Cool. And this will be for our patrons.
Ooh.
So if you want to hear this and all other bonus stories we've ever shared, head over to patreon.com/the3am pod, where if you want to become a patron, you can have access to all of our bonus stuff. Cool. All right. Well, for the regular listeners, we'll be back in a moment. Guys, welcome back. If you missed it, I shared several urban legends from Kentucky. Super interesting region of the U.S. I feel like I don't know it. It truly feels foreign. And there's a lot to learn. If anyone out there does have information, you grew up there, you know people grew up there, or if you have resources, send us links. We'd love to learn more.
Yeah.
And,
why is Kentucky worth visiting even? Wow, that sounded really harsh. But like,
Why should I even
I've never heard of anyone vacationing there, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. Like after diving in my research today, I legit was like, I want to go. I want to see it with my own eyes.
It's definitely really pretty.
Yeah.
And besides the fact that I have family there that I would visit, like you have Mammoth Caves, which is dope to go and visit. You just have rolling green hills just everywhere. Super beautiful. I remember going to like summer camps where it was in the Land of Lake areas where it's just lakes and then islands in the lakes and stuff like that. It was just dope.
Also for like 100 G's, you can buy like a mansion in a plot of land. So
It's
like,
pretty cheap.
I'm finna go there. Anyway,
Or
that's
not pay anything at all and take a whole valley.
Dude, yeah, let's just go
Take
make
the
our own
whole
holler. That's what we gotta do. We gotta make our own holler. I'm down.
I'm about that.
Let's go. Let us know if you want to join our holler.
I mean, my draw to Kentucky. Sorry.
No, what's
Are
up?
we moving on?
No, do your
Sorry.
thing.
My draw to Kentucky is, so if I'm afraid of something, I want to be exposed to it because I don't want to be afraid of it. So
Unafraid yourself.
yeah. So like water, I'm afraid of water that I can't see the bottom.
And so you be jumping in the ocean with
That
us.
terrifies me. Yeah. So I make it a point to be able, like, to still do that. And I have the initial like panic at first, but then I can like walk myself through it. But that is my number one fear. And I feel like when I tell people that, they're like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's that irrational fear where I'm like, I meet somebody that I'm like, you're a hill person, and I'm terrified.
And you probably shouldn't just
I'm
say,
so
"Oh, you're a hill
Just
person."
plant one on them, dude.
I gotta say
You
that.
gotta kiss them to break the spell.
But like that trailer that we watched, I was like, that would give me nightmares.
The
It legit would give me nightmares.
Sorry, real quick. Let's continue this conversation after. Can somebody go grab the food?
oh, shoy.
Okay, let me close.
Brittany, you're amazing.
The podcast real quick. Is that so? You're just terrified of hill people?
Yeah, so I would want to go there to meet them and dispel that, because I mean, it comes from like the unknown. Like that's why I'm afraid of them,
Yeah.
because you don't. In my head, you never know what they're gonna do because they live by their own rules, their own law, and they could just like be like, "Oh, God told me to kill you and then rape your body." You know, like
Oh, damn, bro.
Anyway,
so there it is.
I'm glad I shared something you're absolutely terrified. Hopefully, with the next stories, we'll move away from that.
I doubt it.
That's me tonight. Thank you. So, Sean, you up?
Yes, it's me now, guys. Okay. It's really funny that this just kind of happened to be the topic that you're talking about today, Charles, because it's the exact same topic that I'm talking about right now.
We did not plan this. So earlier, DJ, when we freaked out and you were like, what is it? It's because all his stories have to do with Kentucky. And we did not plan this at all.
Damn, bro. My stories are about Kentucky.
Damn, bro. So, with that being said, if this episode's not called Kentucky, I don't know what we calling it, dude.
I mean, I have some
Can
criticism.
it be called Kentucky? 7 million people, 5 last names.
No, there's at least 6.
It's not halfway through the year.
It's still not halfway through the year. Let's just get that straight. Anyways, I will keep my topic as short as I can for everyone because, we're staying in Kentucky this entire episode, basically.
Let's hear it, boy.
So the reason that I wanted to show the video that I did earlier, being that it was something that for some reason just randomly came into my head that I remembered seeing with my grandpa back in the day when I was living in Kentucky. And he was talking about this idea or this concept of sitting up with the dead, in kind of Appalachian culture. And I kind of did a little bit of a deep dive on other cultural things and superstitions of the area. So first of all, I wanted to cover just some of the superstitions, and then I'll tell some stories after that.
Gang.
In Kentucky, death comes in threes in a congregation. So like in a congregation of people, one person dies, it's going to come in threes.
So in 3 a.m. we all dead.
We all dead.
Oh shit.
A wild bird in the house means someone's going to die.
I love hearing stuff like this. Sorry. So if a bird like flies into your house, someone's dead,
Someone's going to die.
and then 2 more people.
Yeah. Okay. And if anyone in like chat, if this sounds familiar, you've heard of these, like let us know. Or if you've heard of other ones, let us know. A dog howling 3 nights in a row means death is near.
Everything's death, and it's 3.
If you sneeze, cover your mouth and say the Lord's Prayer, or you'll lose your soul out of your mouth and die.
I know some people who sneeze like 19 times in a row. It's like, hey, I'll see you next week.
Okay, bye. If 2 women help a third one get dressed, the youngest of the 3 will die. I don't know why this is a superstition.
If 3 girls get dressed?
If 2 women help another woman get dressed, the youngest of the 3 is toast.
Sounds like someone was being lazy and they're like, I can't help. And they're like, why? It's like,
You're going to die.
Because, you know,
3, I'm I don't know, but like,
and I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, bye. Okay, when 2 people of the same name live in a house, ghosts will stay away.
so that's why they have like 18 kids with brothers and sisters.
That's why they're trying to keep all the names the
Like
same.
Cletus, and Cletus.
Never carry an axe into a house. It means death.
How the hell do you get it into a house? You like chuck it in?
I mean, just maybe not like carry your axe into the house.
Okay.
And it was probably somebody's like grandma be like, what you bringing that axe in here for? Leave that
Yeah.
outside.
Don't
Okay.
ask me that.
Ghosts hate new things. So if you have a persistent ghost, hang something new over your door. If a rooster crows after dark, it's a sure sign that death is in the neighborhood. There's a couple other good ones here. Let's see. Wind chimes will call up the dead. Anyone heard that?
No.
I'm not going to tell my mom because she loves wind
I was
chimes.
gonna say, I'm about to out you. Your mom is from the South.
She does love wind chimes.
And anywhere we travel in the world, Sean has to find and buy his mom some wind chimes. What is she up to, Sean?
I don't know, dude.
Is she trying to rave some dead?
I guess, dude, maybe.
That necromancy.
You.
That just means like raising the dead.
Yeah. Necrophilia is where you're.
Yeah.
Touching.
Here's an interesting one. If someone sees a ghost, look over their left shoulder and you'll be able to see that ghost too.
DJ, look at me.
If I see a ghost.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not just going to be able to see a ghost, dude.
I had to turn left 3 times. Sorry.
A star quilt on your bed will protect you from evil spirits.
Damn, that sucks. Quilts on every other bed in America just work without the star.
Yeah. Don't walk on someone's grave or else you will be haunted by their ghost. That seems kind of like...
That's kind of normal.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm not going to say who. I was with a group of people. We were in a graveyard and people were walking willy-nilly and I was having a conniption fit.
Damn, what's their name?
DJ? No, I don't know. But I was just walking. I was like, just like step, like on gravestones and stuff. I was like, yo.
What you doing?
Yeah, I got all nervous. Anyway.
If you point at a graveyard,
I did that.
your finger will rot off.
Oh, that's close. That reminds me of the Tongan one.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Isn't it just like this? And it's like,
You gouge your own eye out. The spirits will grab your finger and gouge your eye out if you point at the grave.
That one's way better than rot off.
yeah. This is the South. Violence, disease. You know what I'm saying? Fits the region. JK.
If an owl appears on your place when someone there is ill, that person will die in 2 days.
Everything's death.
Dude, there's
I
a
know.
lot of stuff surrounding death. Oh, here's one. A seventh daughter born on Christmas Day possesses witch-like powers.
That's so specific.
It's very, very specific.
Don't be having the sex in what? March?
Yeah,
Quick
yeah.
maths, bro.
So there is a story that I came across that
What
had
if she's your
lot-
daughter and your sister?
Oh shit, dude, there's a
Your
loophole.
seventh one.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 chance.
So I did come across a story whilst like looking for witch related stuff in the Appalachian Mountains and area, and came across something with a lot of substance that I'm not going to share right now because there's too much. But it has been considered or called, at least by the people who wrote it, America's greatest ghost story. And it's the story.
This the one you sharing? America's greatest ghost story?
It's the story of the Bell Witch.
Oh, snap. I've heard this.
The Bell Witch?
Yeah.
The Bell
Which
Witch.
has made it down to Kentucky?
Dude, yeah. Yeah. As
Devil
long
went
as you're
down
a
to
seventh
Georgia,
daughter born on Christmas Day.
Charles, that was a bar. Devil went down to Georgia, and the sequel, The Witch, went down to Kentucky.
Hey, someone in chat brought up a really good point. They said KFC.
KFC originated in Utah,
Oh, okay.
They really did.
which is super weird. But anyways,
The Bell's Witch. Let's get into
I'm
it.
going to be telling the Bell's Witch a little bit later
Oh, okay.
because it's such a large story that I didn't get a chance to go in and read about. But I do have a couple of other stories that happen in southeastern Kentucky, in the Appalachian region. And if you want to pull up my first picture I have there, it's like kind of a rock poking out of the trees. Okay. So this area is called Rebel Rock. And the story comes from this kid who lived in southeast Kentucky, and the majority of his family kind of lived in this area as well. He said that he had a cousin who was a little bit more well off. So he lived up in Louisville with his family. They lived in a nice house, not a double wide. And every like summer or so, his cousin would come and visit. And one summer, as his cousin came to visit, they were talking about this rock, Rebel Rock, that they wanted to go and kind of take pictures, or at least his cousin did, because he was from Louisville, not like the cool mountainous region of southeastern Kentucky. And the guy who's telling the story, his dad really talked up the place as well. He's like, yeah, it's super cool. You have to go and check it out. So one day they decide they're going to drive out to this place. As they start driving out there, eventually they get off of the main road and they start driving through this wooded, forested area. And if you pull the picture one more time, like that's going to be what the road basically looks like, just minus the rock. Like you're going to be seeing nothing but trees.
Super dense forest.
Super dense forest.
Thick wood.
Thick wood. So they're driving through this, and the guy telling the story, he says that as they kept driving through this wooded area, I believe it was his aunt who was there with his cousin, started to get more and more nervous. And he kind of noticed this and was kind of paying attention to just her heightened nervousness in the car. And after maybe 10, 15 minutes of driving through this wood, he asked her about it. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Well, we've just been driving past all these no trespassing signs, and I'm starting to get a little nervous about where we're going." The cousin, the guy who is from up north, nice Kentucky, is like, "No, we're good. We're good." And keeps driving. They keep driving. They continue to pass these no trespassing signs. Eventually, they make it to Rebel Rock. And it's just this rock formation rising out of the forest. And it's pretty cool. Like you can actually hike to the top of it and get like a good panoramic view of the entire forest around. It looks like people have been here. There's graffiti on the lower rock within the trees. There's trash. And it definitely looks inhabited probably by like homeless people. That's what it looks like.
Yikes. Homeless people in Kentucky.
Are you scared yet?
That's your scary story, right?
Y'all have it
I didn't even consider that. That is wild.
in a state where they literally made everywhere their home.
So This guy's cousin jumps out of the car and he's like, oh, dope. Starts taking pictures and like then starts darting off into the forest because he's going to make his way up to the top of this rock to like take pictures from the top of it. Him and his aunt kind of nervously get out of the car and are just kind of looking around the area. And they're looking up at Rebel Rock and they're kind of adjacent to another cliff, or there's another cliff face right behind them. As they're looking around, just kind of admiring all of the trash around, they see this giant signage kind of graffitied onto the ground, which says, "We see you."
Yikes.
And
I believe it too, you know?
They start to get more nervous. And as the guy telling the story is looking around, he looks up over to this other cliffside and he sees a glint of a flash of light. Almost as if there's like binoculars up there and it just saw like a flash of light off of it. And he kind of focuses up a little bit more and realizes it's someone with a gun using the scope as the binoculars. And so he starts freaking out. They start like getting into the car and calling for their cousin to come back. Eventually, like he starts coming back and they like see him coming down the trail, and then they hear cars coming. And there's several cars that start coming up this road. As the cars get there, these men jump out of the cars and they start coming up to him, asking him, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
This is straight up that trailer we watched.
Dude, it kind of is, bro.
No, do it in the accent.
I got to get into my southern accent. I'm wearing the jorts to go with it today too. So the men jump out of the cars. They come over and they're like, "What are y'all doing here?"
They're like, "Boy, you sure got a purty mouth."
Did you not see the no trespassing signs? Y'all shouldn't be here. And then they look at the cousin who's up from Louisville and see him with his nice camera and just like kind of, I was just trying to like take pictures. And turns out these men were more or less just guarding the area from people trying to graffiti. And so they're like, "Okay, well, y'all better head on now." And they let them go. That was their run-in with potentially the hill people of southeastern Kentucky. Luckily to be alive, basically. There's another story as well that I found. In also southeastern Kentucky, this guy has enlisted in the Marines. He's about ready to head off to basically boot camp.
Boot camp.
He's about ready to head off to boot camp. He's got a month or so before he's got to take off. He decides to enroll in this like wilderness survival class before he heads off to boot camp. Essentially, what the camp is going to do, this wilderness survival, is they're going to take him out to this area of the Appalachians and teach him wilderness survival. And then they're going to send him off on his own for a day or two where he's got to survive. I think it's actually 3 total days he has to be out there by himself. So they take him out to this area, which is an old abandoned town, which I have a picture there for you, Deej, if you want to pull that up. So this old abandoned town.
Bro, that's gorgeous.
That's so cool.
It looks dope. But they got special permission from the National Park Service because this place is abandoned and they basically reclaimed the area. And they got permission from the National Park Service to go in there and basically teach their wilderness survival.
So if you're just listening, it's a nice paved road in between 2 tree-lined roads, but it's like a gorgeous forest. And on the left and right, you see old wooden houses with like each of them have porches and they're pretty close together, lined up. Clearly abandoned, forgotten at the time.
Yeah. And I believe this is called Elkmont. Yeah. Elkmont near the Little Pigeon River there. Which I also have a picture of you just to give you an idea of like where he's going to be camping on his own, which is Little Pigeon River. But basically, they take him out to this place. They have permission from National Park Service, and they teach him how to build a shelter. They teach him how to build like this lean-to. They teach him about all the flora and fauna of the area, like what's okay to eat and stuff like that. And they do that for, it sounds like a couple of days. And then they send him off from this area out into the woods where he, and along with the other people who are in this like class, they'll each separately go out to their area and they'll have to build their shelter and basically survive for a couple of days. So he heads out to his area. He says he finds like this kind of boulder in the forested area, which he builds a lean-to up against and is able to get this fire going so that it stays warm on like the cool nights. And he said the first night, nothing too crazy happened. It was pretty normal. But the second night, something did happen. As he was like in his lean-to, just getting ready to go to sleep, this giant like rock, or not giant, this is probably like a foot rock.
Like a basketball size
like a
rock.
bowling ball or basketball lands like right by his lean-to.
So it was like hurled at him?
Like it was hurled there. And he just hears the thunk. And he's like, oh, what is going on here? And then it happens again. Just another big old rock, just thunk, right next to where his lean-to is.
What the?
He's
Dude,
super.
that's terrifying.
Dude, yeah. Like imagine whatever it is hurling these giant stones.
Bigfoot
Or hill-
with bad aim.
I'm just thinking hill people with like trebuchets. You know?
Dude.
Dude, I'm thinking Fezzik from
I
Princess
didn't have
Bride.
to miss you, no.
Yeah. I could kill you right now. Fezzik, are there rocks ahead?
If there, we'll all be dead.
Okay,
So-
but it's probably not Fezzik from Princess Bride. So what is it?
It could be. But a Kentucky pheasant. Okay, anyways. That's the only thing that happens to him this night. But he gets on they have the walkie-talkies where he can talk to the other people out in their little own groups. And night 3 comes around. On one of the walkie-talkies, one of the other people starts freaking out. Like trying to get a hold of him and the other people who are out on their own, saying, there's this guy stalking me on around my camp. This giant person. He describes him as an 8-foot tall person. And this reminds the guy telling the story here that earlier that day he had found footprints. And this is not a Bigfoot, and he doesn't believe this to be a Bigfoot, but he says he wore size 12 shoes, and he finds these footprints down by the stream that are easily 5 inches longer than his size 12-foot shoe. And he starts to freak out like, what the hell is this?
It's a mountain billy, not a hillbilly, dude.
Dude, it is a mountain billy. And he's recalling, because he's from the area, recalling these stories from like his grandparents of hill people that live out here in these hills and people who don't want to be disturbed. He imagines this up in his mind because all the places around are basically abandoned, at least to his knowledge, and he's out here on his own. There's this guy on the walkie-talkie now who's freaking out, said, first of all, he noticed that this giant rock had just been thrown at his like shelter and like had landed on the shelter, like on the edge of it, and then another rock. And as he like looked out, he sees this giant, like 8-foot dude standing there on the edge of like this opening, just kind of.
It's somehow so much scarier than like saying it's a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Just saying it's a hill giant. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, yeah.
Hillbilly giant.
So basically he's freaking out and they're trying to like calm him down on the walkie-talkies. In the midst of this, when I say in the midst, a couple of hours later, after this giant man had gone away from this other guy's camp, all of a sudden down by the stream, he hears this slush, 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 like someone walking through the stream, like crossing the stream towards his camp. And once again, a giant rock is thrown over into his area. And now he starts freaking out. 15 minutes later, another guy comes up on the radio, like asking if everyone's okay. And it's like the directors of this wilderness survival camp. And they're like, okay, we're going to send somebody out. So they send 2 people out. And one of them is this older, clearly of Native American descent.
They're safe. They're good.
And as he gets there, he's like, okay, there's other people here. We're going to be okay. They're kind of bringing him out. And the guy starts talking. He's like, yeah, there are stories of these men that lives in the woods. They don't like people coming on their land. Now, we didn't know this was kind of the area that they were like, no, go, because we've been taking this class out here for a long time. But further up in the mountains, yes, there's stories of these wilderness hill people that will terrorize campers and stuff like that. And as he's saying this, he's like, okay, that's probably what it was. Fortunately, he was able to get out with the help of these two guys, the forest rangers, and he meets the other people who were in his crew again. And he's like, okay, you're the one who's also being attacked. And they're like chatting, like barely we survived. But anyways, that's kind of the extent of his experience. It's definitely wild. And I think for me as well, more scary that it's not a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But that's it for me tonight.
That's freaking wild.
Terrifying.
Somehow those giant rocks just...
I was gonna say I miss the good old days where you just kind of relinquish communication completely and solve problems by throwing things at people.
The good old days.
It's like 42 years in Hawaii.
Bro, that's like yesterday in Hawaii.
Bro, I used to have a dirt cloud wars growing up. I know what that's like.
Yeah.
And then someone grabs a rock. It's like, that's an act of war. Anyway. That's wild. I think we should talk a little bit about like, what are the stereotypes of Kentucky? Like we've already like mentioned it, incest, right?
Yeah, you
like
get that anywhere in the South.
Big family units that are all related. And that breeds like...
Can I get into my story?
Does it have something to do with this?
Yeah.
What?
Bro, this episode is incestuous. Yeah, dude, let's jump into DJ's
Let's do
story.
it.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, but as I go through, if there's parts from what you were gonna say, like just interject.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, I won't touch on that so much, but like this area of the US is you conjure like the slack-jawed hillbilly wearing what's it called? Overalls, making moonshine, not bright, not
I'm
smart.
not even gonna like joke either. Like on my mom's side, we're related to like Jack Daniels. Created like Jack Daniels, like
D-Jack.
Wasn't that full of
the
pirate though?
Huh?
That's Captain Morgan, dog. That's Jack Sparrow, dog.
Also like Jesse James. Like we're related
So
to
real outlaw
outlawed
shit.
Jesse James, and like they're all like outlaws and like moonshiners and
going back to us talking to our coworker earlier today, she said there were times where they got called up by members. They said, sisters, we have a treat for you. And they came and picked him up. It's like, we had dinner. I just saw this deer get hit. We're going to go pick it up.
Roadkill's legal.
And we're having it for dinner. And she said, like,
we may or may not have done that before.
I know you told us. You said that. But like, it's just a different way of life. And it's like, who are you to judge how you get your meat? It's like, whatever. But anyway, I'm just like, what are the thought or what are the ideas that get conjured in your mind when you think of the South? Like these scary, inbred, dumb hill people. And it's like, that's not the case. That's a stereotype. No. But stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. So there must be origins or reasons why people think that, right?
Yeah.
Like stereotypes stem from like an actual event. Does it apply all the way across the board? No.
Definitely.
But does it happen? Has it happened?
Yeah.
Yes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And I think you might be about to tell us about a little bit.
A little bit of that. Yeah. So while we were at work, our coworker, she's telling us these stories and she's like, and then there's like the blue people too. And we're like, what?
Oh shit.
The Blue Man Group?
The Blue Man Group. Do you remember what she said about that? Or what she was talking about?
She was just talking about all different types of legends and things like that, different types of people up there, different types. And I was like, because I think we brought up the subject of inbreeding.
Yeah. Yeah. So she talks about the blue people and she's like, you never heard about the blue people? Everybody in the office, no. She's like, go look it up. So that's what I did. That's part of what I'm sharing. This isn't necessarily scary. I have like some other couple of scary stories after, but the blue people was just interesting to me and I wanted to see what it was about. And we're on track. So it started in 1820. French-born orphan. Unfortunate, dude. Martin Fugate marries an Elizabeth Smith, who he later finds out is a cousin.
Nice.
But you have your cousins.
And then you have your first
And then you have your
cousins.
first cousins.
Yep. Okay. And they both have a recessive gene being products of all of this. And the gene is called, I think, methemoglobinemia or MET-H. Incredibly rare gene that can turn the pigment of your skin blue.
Bro, did you know this was a thing?
I actually have heard of blue
The
people.
Kentucky blue people.
Kevin, did you?
Mm-mm.
So it's crazy because Pack Attack, who's in chat, who was told us earlier that they served their mission in Kentucky, and they mentioned the blue people. So I don't know if this is real. I tried looking into like the source of this, couldn't really find anything. But Martin Fugate was the beginning of all of this. Just the blue people, and the MET-H gene is like amplified when you're like inbreeding. Thus started like, dude, these people already have like the defects, let alone like blue skin.
Literally the pigment of their skin.
Yeah. And this went on for a few generations up until like the mid 1900s.
Dude, Mama Smurf.
Yeah.
Dude, straight up the Smurfs.
DJ's showing us a photo right now of an old lady, and her skin is blue.
So I was just thinking like, dude, this happened in 1820. It's like the Civil War happened
1860s.
60s.
Yeah.
Like when these inbreds had these children, dude, they're in the South and it's pre-Civil War. They're likely racist, dude.
Oh, 100%. They're like,
So when they
get
pop
your
this
damn
up-
white skin off my blue land. This is blue.
You think they pop the child out and they're like, oh, it's a blooper.
That's what they called their kids. Dude, all of them were Eiffel 69'd up. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, confirmed Eiffel 65.
All
just
of them were the Hollers being like, "Cuz,
they're
what
all
up, cuz?
inbreds.
What up, cuz?" Oh, shit. I shouldn't have flashed that on screen.
They just invented Eiffel 65, a whole new branch of music. Bluegrass, dude.
Oh, dude.
Actually, that's when you said we should call this Kentucky. I had another
Well,
one. I wanted to call
Kentucky
it bluegrass.
is the bluegrass state,
It's the
but
bluegrass
it's also
state.
because of grass that is bluish in Kentucky.
Nah, before the
From
bluegrass,
inbreeding?
it was the blue
Yeah.
people.
blue
dude.
ass, dude.
Oh, shit.
thing, dude.
Before
We're
the
just
bluegrass.
roasting our blue friends. They already got it so bad.
God roasted them, bro.
Damn. Blue lives matter, right?
Now, here's the thing: he didn't roast them. They're just really rare.
Froze
dog.
them.
They're underdone, dog.
On tonight's forecast, freeze. I'm sorry, bro.
Stupid.
This shit is wild, dog.
The Hollers and all of that is just crazy to me too, because it's like, you guys found this family that created these blue people, like they moved away from the town and nestled themselves in a holler in a place where there were like no roads to get in and out. So because of that, they weren't seeing, nobody was visiting them. So who they had to breed with
They blew
was just
asses.
their own family.
Just
And it was
out
like,
there.
why'd you do this to yourself? Like even earlier we were talking about like
Why would you live here in desert?
exactly like Brigham Young is like stop in the desert. It's like they probably just played Oregon Trail as a kid and lost so many times. They're like, yeah.
That's honestly, I know you're making a joke, but like they simply didn't know more, didn't know better. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you were born there, that's your whole life. You don't
Yeah.
understand anything outside of that. And to you, that's normality. Like that, what's it called? That Netflix documentary just came out, or it could be Hulu, of Warren Jeffs.
Oh, I think that is Netflix actually.
And it's like he is an off branch
Like
of
FLDS.
of the Mormon church who like took his own section of the church and all these followers, moved them down to a compound, and he controls everything they believe, everything they do, and people are born into that society. So they literally don't
Know any difference?
And that's, before social media, it's like, dude, that was way easier to create a situation like that. So like to answer your joking question, it probably literally was like they had no idea. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you just like grew up thinking your blue ass sister was hot as hell. And one day hopefully you can make some blue ass kids. Make some blue ass grass music. But it's just, it's wild.
Just further inbreeding and like they'd be coming out looking like Dory, like blue with the eyes on the side of their head.
Yeah.
Like,
bro, I think Nemo's that way.
Nemo got the little fin too.
And before like everyone is like, haha, this is uniquely a Southern thing, like inbreeding. Hell no, it is. Like it is in like European monarchies. They had to keep the bloodlines pure. It's in Egypt. Like, you ever heard stories of how Tutankhamun looked?
Yeah, he was actually like super decrepit.
He's so inbred. He was like mega f***ed up.
Really?
He had like flippers and shit, and he had like his
legs
was
were like
this.
different sizes.
It's got like a dick coming out of their rib. Like,
Yeah, that's why everyone thought the Egyptians were ran by aliens, because this fool looked like an alien. He looked ET ass. But it's like, this shit is not unique to the South. So it's like, yes, we're clowning on the South, but like the whole world can get these jokes. You know what I'm saying? There's an episode of the X-Files called Home.
That's actually one of their highest rated episodes. Too.
Highest rated, arguably one of the scariest. And
yeah.
after it aired once on TV, banned from television.
Yeah.
Because it was so disturbing.
It's super disturbing.
Agent Mulder and Scully are called to the South to like investigate this tribe or this family in like Kentucky or in a Holler type situation. And what they find is this entire like family unit has been inbreeding to the point of like they're almost unrecognizable humans. And like, dude, you watch the show, this shit, like they pop
Like
off. It's
Hills
like, you
Have
got
Eyes
this
people?
approved. It looks like Hills Have Eyes. And at one point, they're keeping the mom.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know, like what's it called? Mechanics, how they have that little like
A
rolly
dolly
thing
or whatever.
So they go in the house. It's dark. It's decrepit. There's like skin lamps and shit. And they go upstairs and they see the edge. They hear a noise under the bed and they pull it out. And they're keeping like the mom creature under the bed on one of those things. They pull it out and it's like, and that's like what they're breeding with to make more siblings, bro.
oh,
Yeah, it's super disturbing.
Yeah.
Episode.
And so that aired on TV and everyone's like, never again.
Never.
We're going to go ahead and put a stop on that X-Files.
damn.
But like, yeah, one of the scariest episodes of X-Files.
It's definitely disturbing for sure.
I never seen Hills Have Eyes. Is that
You
a good
don't
one?
need to.
It's a classic, right?
It's so gross.
I think it was at the peak and the height of scary movies that banked off of gore.
Yeah, it was like body horror.
I'm just not about it. Like, the story is good as far as story goes, but what they really dive into is just disturbing. So it's like the
it corny?
grossest.
Have you
or
There's corn to it, I would say.
yeah.
have you seen the newest Wrong Turn?
No.
It's actually good. And it's basically these hikers that get lost on the Appalachian Trail.
Okay, we're watching it tonight.
And it's dope. But basically, that's what I think of more so when I think of the people up in the Hollers by themselves.
Yeah. Hills Have Eyes, I kind of get an Arizona, like Nevada vibe.
Yeah.
And they're
The
they
Wrong
maybe
Turn
Mexico.
was like,
I think isn't it New Mexico? Because it was from the
Probably.
missile testings.
like the nuclear testing.
Oh,
so it's like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
more radiation.
Yeah.
Wrong Turn is more West Virginia, Kentucky, like
Inbred hillbilly.
Tennessee.
Cool. Anyway, I yeah, just to kind of like paint the picture of the era and maybe why pop culture views it as such.
Yeah.
But anyway, is that you for blue people?
No, there's a little bit more to that story.
Sorry.
So
on
no, it's okay.
Tangent,
It's okay. Fascinating. So this went on for over 100 years. The blue people, Kentucky blue people. 1960, Dr.
1960.
Cawein, Cawein, found a cure
Oh, interesting.
and finds that methylene blue, like, just takes away the blue pigmentation.
What is methylene blue?
Not sure. Chemical X.
Okay.
They inject it.
Antifreeze.
They inject it into these people. That's a good one, Kev. They inject it to these people, and the nurse is quoted saying that they changed color before my eyes.
That's wild.
Crazy science, and that was like published, and his studies on that like are known now today. The last known person to be born blue was a man in 1975 by the name of Benjamin Stacy. That's recent.
1975.
That's younger than my parents.
Yeah, same.
You know, but after a few weeks, the blue pigmentation went away.
Oh,
So, yeah, that's the end of the blue people. So, our coworker telling us all these stories. I'm just looking into Kentucky, and I found a little more folklore. And well, I don't know if this is folklore. Like these events actually happened. I want to talk about Bobby Mackey's Music World. Not too long. I'll run through it. But Bobby Mackey's Music World was featured on Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins.
A disembodied voice.
Exactly.
Bro, I used to smash some Ghost Adventures when Netflix first came out. That was like one of the 8 shows that was on there. And your boy watched every single one. Spiked hair, baggy pants, fingerless gloves. But anyway, sorry.
Real quick, in the chat, Coco said, fun fact, the methylene blue is used as a dye. It's actually a blue medication. I deal with it at the hospital.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Blew it.
That's cheesy. Blue cheese. Okay. Bobby Mackey's Music World. In 1978, Bobby Mackey purchased this space and turned it into a pretty well-known country music venue in the state or in the area. Prior to it becoming a music venue, it was previously a roadhouse and a nightclub. And before that, it was a slaughterhouse. So we're going to start in the slaughterhouse days. Right before the 1900s, specifically 1897, a woman by the name of Pearl Bryan was traveling down to Kentucky. I don't know from what state, but traveled to Kentucky to marry her then boyfriend, Scott Jackson, who was the father to her unborn child. So she's pregnant, traveling to Kentucky. She's going to marry this dude.
Out of wedlock.
She arrives there, and her boyfriend, Scott Jackson, works at the slaughterhouse. He and his roommate, Alonzo, they're talking. They don't want this baby. So they perform an abortion. They use the tools from the slaughterhouse. Alonzo's a dentist. They use those tools as well. They get their hands on some poison. So they're doing this crazy, literal back alley abortion, and it's botched. Pearl, mortally wounded, they decide to kill her. So Pearl's fiance, Pearl's fiance and roommate cut her head off.
Bro, that is not what happened, but that's the story they're saying. Sorry.
Cut her head off and threw her body in a field. Not smart.
Not great.
Like there's a smart way to dispose of a body.
Not chill.
Not chill, dude. It wasn't long. Couple days, investigation underway, and they're found out. Later,
When someone's like, hey, there's a body in the field.
her body's found. They are following the breadcrumbs, retracing steps, and they convict Scott and his roommate Alonzo to be hung in the town square in front of everyone.
What year is this?
1897.
Still got lynching.
Well, it don't matter. It's Kentucky. It's 2015.
Yeah.
Damn, any listener from Kentucky is automatically unsubscribing from every outlet for us. They were hung to death. And that was the beginnings of the hauntings of this slaughterhouse. Years later, slaughterhouse is knocked down in 1950. By that point...
Wait, where was the head?
Not sure. Couldn't find anything on that.
Okay, sorry.
No. Years later, it's 1950. Slaughterhouse has since been knocked down. They made it into a roadhouse and club. Joanna, a performer at the club is called the Latin Quarter at the time in the 1950s. Joanna's a performer there. She falls in love with one of the singers at the club. His name's Robert Randall. She gets pregnant. Because of that, Joanna, whose father is a well-known kind of mobster, he's involved in a lot of shady things, is enraged over this fact, very protective of his daughter. So what does he do? He visits the club one night, finds Robert Randall, father of the unborn child, and hangs him in the dressing room. Mob justice. Not really a mob, a single person. Joanna, being very upset, unalives herself.
That's not funny, Kevin.
Why do you have to say it like that?
Because Twitch terms of service.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Gotcha. Sorry.
No, you're good. Unalives herself with poison. So sorry. I had a bunch of pictures for all of these. Let me bring them up quick. This is like the actual family tree of the Kentucky Blue people. You could see all the exact people who got
Blued.
Got
Blued.
the blue.
who got blued up. This is the doctor that found the cure. This is another man.
Oh, dude.
He passed away in like 2018. He turned blue for separate reasons. He like drank a bunch of colloidal silver during his life. But yeah. This is Bobby Mackey's.
Woo.
So
Slaughterhouse vibes for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So at Bobby Mackey's, we have the father of Joanna who hangs Robert Randall. She unalives herself with poison, and right before that, writes a poem about her love, Robert. She writes it on the walls, and that poem can still be found today.
Damn.
They preserved it.
My love is deep as the sea
That
that flows forever. Well,
Yeah. It's just a sweet poem talking about her love. And that was that. Bobby Mackey, the one who purchased this club and turned it into a country music venue, his most famous song was written after Joanna, called Joanna. So I think that happened before he bought the place too. So I wonder if he was like a local, knew the story, wrote about it, got the bag because of his success off the song, and then purchased the venue where she passed away and her love as well. So today you can go and take tours at Bobby Mackey's Music World.
Damn.
They have a sign up here that says, "Warning to our patrons, this establishment is purported to be haunted. Management is not responsible and cannot be held liable for any actions of any ghosts or spirits on this premises."
dude, we need to make that the banner of our Patreon.
We're not liable for any ghosts.
Yeah, warning patrons.
And that's the story of the Kentucky Blue people and Bobby Mackey's Music World.
Dude, wild. I think we covered everything in Kentucky.
Actually, there's a song. It's a love song called "It's Deeper Than the Holler." My love is deeper than the holler, higher
Shallow
than the tree.
like our jeans. Oh, there we go.
That's not part of the song, but I mean, I guess I could see where he'd go with that.
I can see where that fits.
Yeah.
Wild. I had so much fun. My mind was blown. Like as our coworker was talking and just like illustrating, and she's a good storyteller, like a natural born storyteller. So she was like, dude, I was there. I could smell the smells. I could see the people. I could see the holler. And it was like, this is crazy. And it's wild that we all like dove down.
That is kind of
I
funny.
kind of had an idea DJ would. I had no idea that's what you were covering this episode. That's pretty wild. I'm excited to hear that other story you have.
Oh, me too.
The Bell's Witch.
Yeah,
Classic.
definitely looks to be entertaining.
Cool. Kevin, any thoughts? Anything to wrap it up?
How do you know the toothbrush was invented in Kentucky?
How?
Because it's not a teeth brush.
Otherwise, it'd be called a teeth brush.
That's racist, and I do not condone that.
Racist.
It's teeth.
Against our blue brethren, dude.
Oh, you're right.
I'm just kidding. Wild. I would love to go. There are famous hollers you can visit that have now been kind of like
Cleared out.
cleared out. And it's
Is
like,
that the Hatfield and McCoy area, or is that a different?
I think
place?
so. Was talking about
Because she Oh,
Strike that from the record. Our coworker was talking about how she met someone who was like a real Hatfield and like married him.
kidnapped from the Hatfields and married to McCoy or whatever.
What is that?
I know it's a famous rivalry, and there was a whole show about it.
Hatfields and McCoys.
Yeah.
So just like probably family.
But it was just two families that hated each other
crazy
for like
wars,
50 years or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've seen it, and it's only getting worse, and every retaliation just like builds and builds and builds, and there's literally no restitution. Like they're gonna die fighting each other. Wild. Yeah, there's a lot there. If anyone's listening right now, feel free to send us any information, any links, any stories on Kentucky. It's a region we've been to briefly, but like I now feel like I understand it so much better. And with that, let's close. Let's get out of here.
Exciting night. Stoked to be here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We love y'all. Reach out and
Till next week.
Trust you got watch your back.
Be careful.
I love you. Be safe.
Love you guys.
Hey.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay. Sweet.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of 3 a.m. If you want to support us, visit our Patreon where patrons have access to exclusive content. If you're not able to support us monetarily, don't worry. This episode is on us. You can still rate and review us on whatever platform you listen to us on. It really does go a long way. You can also follow us on social media. Our handle everywhere, including Patreon, is the 3 a.m. pod. Finally, do you have any scary stories? If so, submit them to our website, the3ampodcast.com. We love any audio or visual aids that can help bring your stories to life. So file uploads are welcome with your written submissions. We're anxious and excited to hear from you.